You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the BLEAV Network, powered by FanJoe Sportsbook, and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate game day experience, stadium tours, tailgating, all the above.
Yeah.
Go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. We will need to get that discount code updated, though, Mike. We will need to get that updated.
I'll sort that out.
Yeah, but... yes, we are here. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys are not in the playoff picture. And currently, as of right now, as we are recording, the Los Angeles Rams are currently 7-0 up on the Carolina Panthers. And we are expecting that game to be more in favor of the Rams right now. But we are here to talk about what's been going behind the scenes with the Dallas Cowboys as of right now, and also kind of give you our thoughts, what's going to happen in the playoffs, give you our predictions as of what's going to happen. But as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Mike Poland. But yeah, man, how we doing?
Yeah, good. Plowing through some draft stuff, trying to get it all going, but I spent the week shifting sideways and looking at the free agent market instead.
Yeah. So you've really made a massive free agent list of players that we should be looking at in this off season, which we'll probably take a more deeper dive into that next week.
Yes.
But just to kind of quickly highlight of some of the names you put up there, like obviously George Pickens is one of them out there. But there's other players out there like Trey Hendrickson, who could be quite too expensive. Javonte Williams is in that list also. There's quite a few Dallas Cowboys in that list, but looking at some of the other positions and needs, I mean, there's some big names in there that we could really hope we could acquire going into next year. And you just know from what they've contributed so far in the NFL, they could make an impact for sure compared to what we've got already. But we are here to talk about what's been going on recently with the Dallas Cowboys, and obviously the biggest news of them all. And finally, Mike, Matt Eberflus is gone. He's gone. We are a bit late to the party of announcing it, but hit me with it, Mike. What's your general thoughts on it?
It didn't take them long.
No.
I mean, like, you think in the past, they kind of shuffled their heels on that sort of decision. When it comes to like their whole postseason process, you can always go, well, what's going on? It sometimes it's coaches, sometimes it's players, but in this instance with Eberflus, it was a misnomer. They just went straight into it and they were like, we're going to be good. We're going to be reviewing, and then the review seemed to take a day or two, and they were like, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, it seemed like it was really cutthroat from that regard. So it kind of shows, and we kind of talk about this on the UK Cowboys fans, that when the decision was made, and when the Dallas Cowboys posted it on social media that the services of Matt Eberflus was no longer required, there was a weird thing that kind of happened, and you did get to see a lot of Dallas Cowboys players liking the post. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, mate, but that is a bit of a telling tale of how people kind of felt, like not just on defense, but people on offense also. Because obviously, I can imagine the frustration from the offensive side, like they weren't happy with him, the fact that they were basically on the field to have to try and score 40-plus points per game to try and even salvage a game. But from the defensive side of the ball, like, some players were liking it. Like, I am just assuming here. I'm speculating here. We're just happy at the fact that he was gone. So, but as the fans, though, I think we're all in rejoicing. I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish Matt Eberflus all the best, and like always, but he didn't do a good job at all.
No.
And that's an understatement. And when I was kind of evaluating, looking over Eberflus since he became like defensive coordinator for the Colts, but so many years ago now.
Yeah.
Like his first year, really, really good. He had the player personnel there, etc. But you did get to see a gradual decline with Indianapolis when it comes to their defense.
Yeah.
And obviously, he was given the nod for the head coaching role with Chicago, and that was a bit of a disaster. Now he comes back over here in that defensive coordinator role, and it just got even worse. So, but it kind of remains the question: do you think at the time when Eberflus was our linebacker coach, it was more down to the players rather than the coach that was actually performing? Because yeah, we did have Sean Lee, but here's the main question, Mike. If we had a different linebacker coach under, like Ron Marineri, etc.,
Yeah.
do you think we may have actually had a more impactful linebacker group during that era?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, going off trend, but it's hard to say. I mean, you do look at that, like Sean Lee he's a unicorn. He's a unicorn. So it's very hard to say, but you would think with a guy like with Sean Lee in there being able to just, I mean, the guy was a surgeon at being able to dissect defenses. So you would probably go as far to say maybe they would have been, you know.
It just kind of like raises some question marks about the legitimacy of
Yeah.
like some Matt Eberflus. But good thing is though, mate, we don't have to worry about that. We're now currently in the interview process as of right now for the Dallas Cowboys, and a few names have popped up already. So there is Durante Jones, the Vikings defensive passing game coordinator. I do apologize. There's the Browns safety coach Ephraim Banda, sorry. The Browns defensive passing game coordinator and James Leonard. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they're just it's the early stages, so you just put in the
exploring options right now. But they have also requested interviews for the Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich as well.
Yeah,
which I thought very interesting. So
that's more interesting. Yeah,
and I don't know if you've seen the interviews of Ulbrich as well. He has that same charismatic output what Schottenheimer has, like very similar in terms of like approach to communicating with players and how he deals with the press, etc. So I think that's quite a interesting look at in terms of trying to bring in the defensive coordinator. So try and bring someone that's very similar in terms of ideas, etc. So that might work in the Cowboys' favor, but hit me with it, Mike. Like, what's your thoughts on in terms of all the people that we have been looking at right now?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things that until you start to hear more about what kind of guys they like, that's when I start to pay more attention. At the moment, it's more just like throw the net out. Let's see what's out there. Let's try and roll with things. Then you start to hear more things, especially like as we speak to the guys over in Dallas, in Frisco, you start to hear more rumors or guys that they like. Then all of a sudden I'm kind of like, oh, all right, let's dive in. What is this guy? Is he a 3-4 defense? Is he zone? Like what is it that this guy likes to do? What does he bring? And does that fit? The most important thing was for me, during one of the press conferences, they asked Jerry the question, and I know he made some wild comments, typical, Jerry style. But they said, like, look, is Shotty allowed to pick his defensive coordinator, or is it you? And Jerry just turned around and said, well, look, whoever we pick, he has to sign off on, which I take with a pinch of salt, that comment. But I would like to think, given how the season went, that They will interview guys. They will give Shotty the guys that they like, and then I would like to think that they hand the baton over at that stage and go speak with him. Does this fit? Because they don't want to have another terrible. I mean, the 2025 defense was the worst in Cowboys history, and they don't want a repeat of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, mate, but I would rather prefer if it was Shorty, it was making the call on that and reporting back to Jerry. This is the guy I want, not the other way about.
Yeah, that's what I would like, but we all know.
But
we all know what it's like.
We know the reason why, because Jerry wants to take credit because he assembled the team. He assembled this because he wants to get that ghost off his back of winning a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson. That's pretty much where it does come down to, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, and he's said Jerry made another comment, which I quite like. That he's like, I want to leave the Dallas Cowboys with at least another 4 Super Bowls. I want to leave as the owner with the most Super Bowls in NFL history. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking, you're going to be around for like another 100 years?
I don't know what to say to that one, Mike. I really don't. I really don't. But in terms of other aspects, in terms of news and relations to the Cowboys, there was a lot of speculation the Cowboys were going to look at Brian Flores, but the likely chance of Brian Flores, who it was the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, he is one of the top candidates to be getting a head coaching role within the NFL. So you can really mark Brian Flores off your list. In other news, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, is getting interviewed with regards to the likes of the Giants and the Titans, which is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it would be tough if he got to the Giants. I mean, that's a tough gig to kick off with. I mean, parts will start to come back to him next season in terms of injury, which will help. But it's the intimate knowledge of the Cowboys that will be difficult. And then you're coming off a back of a very embarrassing loss in week 18. So it wouldn't be ideal if he got, I mean, either gig, like Titans or Giants, is a tough one at the moment.
If you're like a head coach trying to get a job in the NFL, and obviously it's one of the bottom teams in the NFL with the worst records.
Yeah,
they've got talent, whatnot, but it would have to take a lot, and not just in 1 year. You're maybe talking about year 2 and year 3 to really get the ball rolling to change the fortunes of those franchises. So if McCarthy is the head coach for the likes of the Giants, I mean, let's see. It'll be another question to Jerry: did he make the right decision by letting McCarthy go? Like, there's so many side questions you could ask here. Like, did we make the right decision of promoting Brian Schottenheimer? Because obviously Schottenheimer has worked under Mike McCarthy. Like, did we really make the right decision going forward with this? Which me personally, I think we have, but you do need to question it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think McCarthy's a bad coach.
I don't either. I mean, he did give us 12 and 5 seasons consecutively, got us into the playoffs, got us further than we have been in a long, long time. I mean, if that's one head coach that could possibly change the fortunes of the Giants, I would say it would be Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I would.
I mean, like, he would need to really nail a good defensive coordinator because he's very offensive heavy. Mm-hmm. But for that Giants offense, with the pieces that it has and is slowly building up toward, perfectly ideal for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But in other news as well, within the Dallas Cowboys, tight end coach Linda Wells is getting interviewed by several teams as an offensive coordinator, which I thought was quite interesting. So there is a strong possibility Linda Wells might be departing from the Cowboys. There's a possibility.
Okay, I got a question for you then that relates to that. Mm-hmm. Do you feel, since he's taken over the tight end core of the Cowboys has gotten better, worse, or stayed stagnant?
As brutally honest, I think it's been very stagnant.
It
Like,
hasn't got better.
no, it's not reached up to that next level. It's kind of just staying at the same bit where it is right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, Fergie had a great season coming back from his injury. Spanford really showed some
He's
good
come
glimpses.
on. Yeah,
He's came on really well. I think in terms of a player development standpoint, yes, 100%. But in terms of the well, I wouldn't really put that down to Linda Wells, if I'm being honest. I would put that more down to the play calling of executing the tight ends in certain plays.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So it could be down to Clayton Adams and Schottenheimer, how they want to go forward with the offense. Like, that could be the main possibility why we might feel it's stagnant. But make no mistake, Linda Wells has been a great coach. He really has, and it would be a big loss for the Cowboys. I'll be perfectly honest with you. So,
Yeah.
but I hope he stays. But don't get me wrong, that the pay upgrade from being a tight end coach to offensive coordinator is quite significant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It gets your name out there more often than not. So whoever, I mean, I don't have the teams here in front of me right now, but he has been interviewed by several teams. But whoever decides to kind of take the stab in the dart in Linda Wells, I think he will be quite successful in that regard.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I got nothing more to add. I just thought I'd throw that question to you.
No, not at all. But on a really happy note, though, on terms of the Cowboys, former, and this is all in theme with the Dallas Cowboys tight ends, former Dallas Cowboys tight end Jason Witten has agreed to join Oklahoma, joining his former teammate DeMarco Murray as part of the coaching staff. So he'll be joining as the tight ends coach, where DeMarco Murray is currently the running backs coach. So I am over the moon for Jason Witten and that.
Yeah. So it's a step up progression. But funnily enough, me and Jamie were talking about this in a week. Can you imagine being a high school kid playing tight end, and you're about to get recruited for Oklahoma, and the guy who walks through the door is Jason Witten? Can you imagine that?
It would be surreal.
You'd be like, sold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I would do? As I'd be quite selfish, is I'd be like the whole time, like, still on the fence, Jason. I'm just not sure, just to keep him there.
And this is the interesting thing, where it comes to tight ends, right? And we're seeing this quite a lot, where tight ends during high school, they actually transition into really good offensive linemen.
Okay, I see where you're going.
But I'm just saying, Jason Witten just wanted to really keep, they'll want to target the top 10 guys in terms of the recruitment, in terms of high schools, and etc. But see, some of these guys that are maybe every college will have their top 10 tight ends all across the country. They might grab 3 of those guys or whatever, and not all of them are going to play. They'll still want to utilize them in some way capacity. If they're a little bit bigger, it's like, okay, we want you to start getting some reps up offensive line and stuff like that. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
And what way to learn, even as a tight end, is learn from Jason Witten, who was renowned for that as a pass blocking tight end as well as a catching tight end.
Yeah.
He was just good at everything. He really
unicorn.
was.
That is a unicorn.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, that is the news updates. But as of right now, and let me just double check the scores. So
it's still 7-0.
Yeah, it's still 7-0 right now, with Carolina with the ball right now, coming into the end of the first quarter. But looking at the playoff picture, so obviously currently right now we both agreed that the Rams are going to win this one. Yeah. It still boggles my mind that the Panthers made it.
It's wild.
It's wild. That division is mental. It really is. But with the remaining games, we've got Green Bay versus Chicago, which is going to be huge. And we've also got San Francisco versus Philadelphia. And on the AFC side, we've got Buffalo versus Jacksonville, which I think is going to be one of the games to watch. Like, I don't know about you, Mike, but this could be the year for Josh Allen. It could be, but one of two of my dark horses from the AFC have been pretty much fantastic this year, and that's Jacksonville and Denver. But Jacksonville right now, they have been very surprising. That's without Travis Hunter right now.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, I was just trying to mention the other games there. Yeah. So, and finally, we've got the LA Chargers versus New England, and finally, we've got the Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, what do you think, Mike?
So I mean, let's start from the top and work down. Rams, Carolina. I'm with you. Surprising the way Panthers have turned it around. It gives you some reprieve for losing against them early in the season. We all were like, no, this has been going to be a cakewalk, and they defeat you, and then they go on. I know it's the NFC South, but still, they go on to continue to stack wins, get into the playoffs. Against the Rams, though, I mean, it's a high-powered offense. That I mean, just to start the whole playoff season off, was started with Matt Stafford throwing a touchdown to Puka Nacua. So that connection between those pair is going to be vital for that game, and I think they will come away with that victory fairly simply, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously, the big game for me is the Chicago Bears, another team that we thought early on. We thought the Chicago Bears weren't a good team, but they have turned things around and became one of the teams to watch this year. So, and they're up against their divisional rivals in Green Bay Packers, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say Chicago are gonna win this one.
Yeah. Chicago are scoring the 9th most points at the moment, going up against Green Bay that kind of is mostly struggling in the passing game, which is crazy when you think about Green Bay.
Considering they drafted wide receivers in the draft.
Yeah, it's weird how their offense has shifted. The only place Green Bay is better at Chicago at right now is in third down efficiency. But that's about it. On the defensive side, it's slightly different. Chicago's defense needs a lot of work. But I mean, like, what's funny is the Bears are peaking at the right time, and that's what you want to do, and that's what they've done so far. So they've started peaking.
It's like the opposite of the Colts. They peaked way too early and came crashing down.
Yeah,
like everyone thought the Colts were the team to beat, and obviously they were undefeated up to a certain point. And Daniel Jones gets injured, and the world just came crashing down. Like
you know, you couldn't say like, are they peaking? They lost the last 2 games. Last game, completely ignore. But their week 17
it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Their last game, really the most important one, which was against the 49ers, they lost by 4 points in a really high scoring game. It was like 38-42. So they're able to score. As I say, it's the defense that's causing them hissy fits at the moment. But I mean, like, the thing is Cowboys fans need to be invested in the Bears. Go Bears. Because that helps our draft position.
Absolutely. And that's the other reason why I am going for the Bears on this one.
Yes.
And finally, on the NFC side, we do have San Francisco and the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 teams with the most history against the Cowboys going head-to-head. As much I would love San Francisco to take the Eagles out in this one, I do have my question marks on San Francisco. But don't get me wrong, I do have my question marks on the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, San Francisco looking better on offense than it is defense, which is scary to say when you're going up against the Eagles. But the Eagles, ironically, they're not scoring huge points. They're just able to keep points low. They don't offer up a lot of points on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, I think they rank like 20th, 21st, something like that, in total points scored or points per game. Passing yards is kind of low. Where they do beat the 49ers is in the running game, but that's mostly because of the duel. Yeah,
the dual threat. Yeah,
Mm.
because when you've got like on San Francisco side, Brock Purdy's not exactly a dual threat. He's not.
Yeah, he's a game manager.
He's a game manager quarterback, and you've got an absolute weapon in Christian McCaffrey. Whereas on the Eagles side, you do have Jalen Hurts, who can be that dual threat, and you do have Saquon. So
it's stopping third down against the 49ers. If you can stop them on third down, then you're in for a winner, because like the Eagles can start rolling with it, but you've got to slow them down. You've got to stop them on third down. Sorry, but I do think the Eagles come away with a win on this one.
Sadly,
sadly,
yeah. So, and if that was to plan out, so it would be. I'm just trying to think about it in terms of the season. So Seattle would play the Rams, which would be very interesting. And it would be Chicago versus Philly.
Mm.
That would be quite interesting.
That would be a fun game to watch, yeah.
All right, on to the AFC. The game I'm really excited for, Mike. Buffalo versus Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So Buffalo are 12-5, and Jacksonville are currently 13-4. Buffalo being the 6th seed, Jacksonville being the 3rd seed. I'm going with my dark horse bets in this one because I haven't been wrong this year when it comes to that. I'm going with Jacksonville in this game.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. That might come a bit of a shock to people.
I want to. It's like, like that thing, like we talked about the college playoffs.
College football has been unreal this year.
It's been great. The playoffs have been fun because it's just different teams in there.
It's refreshing.
It's nice to see. And you're just like,
And a big shout out to Mike Tagg, who is in the college football playoff finals with Miami. So we have to give a big shout to him and the Cowboys Cave Crew. Sorry to Kelly K9, like his Texas Red Raiders, Texas Tech. They didn't see it through, but Mike with his Miami Hurricanes, he is over the moon. So big shout out to Mike Tagg.
I think they can take that one. But sticking with this game,
yes.
What makes this is a very, very closely contested game. So you got Buffalo, who are 4th in total points scored. The Jags are 6th, very, very close. But here's where it gets fun, right? The Jags in rushing offense are 1st in the NFL, but the Bills in rushing defense are 1st. So this is all on the ground game. Yeah. This is which bow breaks first.
See, this is why I said I think this is one of the games I'm really intrigued by. And as much as I'm not particularly a big fan of Trevor Lawrence, but he has proven me wrong this year massively.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I've got it the other way around. I let me just flip and correct myself. Bills are 1st in rushing offense.
All right.
The Jags are 1st in rushing defense.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
That makes more sense.
That makes more sense. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but going back to what I was kind of saying there, so Trevor Lawrence, like, I've been very critical over him over the past couple of years. I didn't think he would, like, for him being like a 1st round overall pick, he hasn't really kind of exceeded expectations. I didn't feel he kind of deserved that contract extension for all that amount of money, but he is playing out of his skin this year. I can't deny that, and I think he will turn it up in this game. I think Jacksonville will beat the Bills.
It's close.
It's
very
close. Possible. I think it's very closely contested. I really do.
Where it flips is where it's not so close. I mean, like, they're close in terms of where they are in passing yards as a team, but the Jags, I think, are 10th in total passing yards, but the Bills' defense is 1st in passing defense.
Mm.
So you got a lot of firsts. You got a lot of firsts
And,
in this
and
game. It's
and
a
this
high quality game.
and this is why we love the NFL. Like,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know, like, unrelated matter. I don't know if you saw the soccer, our football here today, where Crystal Palace got beat by Macclesfield Town, a non-league
Oh,
team.
wow.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a shock. But I'm just saying, like, expect it's any given Sunday. Expect the unexpected, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Some teams
Yeah.
will think it's going to be a walk in the cake, or well, it's going to be a walkover, whatever analogy you want to make, ladies and gentlemen. But if that other team is up for it, they're more hungry for it. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be the ones that's going to prevail.
Yeah. 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 I hope it is Jacksonville, just so it's a different team in that spot. That's what I'm about. I like mixing it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bit of difference in it.
Right, so we've went for Jacksonville on that one. The Chargers and New England Patriots is another interesting one. So obviously Drake May has been playing unbelievably this year. I didn't think he was going to materialize the way he's been playing this year. Not by a long shot, but he's been arguably the most consistent quarterback this year, I thought. Obviously, with the Patriots being 14-3, with the number 2 seed, the Chargers make the playoffs being 11-6. They're the number 7th seed. You're going to have to go with the Patriots on this one, Mike.
Yeah.
You really have to.
14 wins. I mean, that's the most wins in the playoffs. So these guys are just rolling with it.
Well, with the exception of Seattle and Denver.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, like this week. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So in the playoffs this week for wildcard weekend, they have 14 wins. Unbelievable. You don't get 14 wins in a season by accident. If you say wins and you use a teen word at the end of it, then yeah, your team had a flyer across the board. If you go through it statistically without really diving too deep, both offense and defense, Patriots outdo the Chargers in nearly every major statistical category. So you would like to think that this is a game where, as well, it's in Gillette Stadium, so they've got the home field advantage. We know, like in Foxborough, that crowd at playoff time can be very daunting to the opposing team. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think this one, it's not a cert. It's not as cert as some other ones we've discussed. But on paper, and I know no game is played on paper, but on paper, everything lines up with the New England Patriots being able to get this win, especially, I think, the home field advantage part plays the biggest role, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've got the Patriots winning this one also.
Yeah.
And finally, again, another team that had a really terrible start to the season seemed to rise from the ashes, which is the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had that dramatic win against the Baltimore Ravens last week, which was unbelievable.
Missed field goal.
No, not just from the Steelers, and the Ravens missed field goals as well. So, it was the Ravens field goal that really caused the problem. But but Steelers had a missed PAT, I believe it was, or field goal. But either way, what a game it was. But at this point, Texans are 12-5, Steelers are 10-7. Texans have been looking a lot better at the latter part of the season, very similar to the Chicago Bears. I've got the Texans winning this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're on a 9-game winning streak right now. But here's the crazy bit, the bit that I find as wild as it gets. That on offense, total yards on offense, Pittsburgh, 25th.
Mm-hmm.
The Houston Texans on defense, yards allowed, first.
Their defense has been on fire. It really has. Gotta give the Texans coaching staff that they've really turned this team around at the point it really needed it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can add to that, but I do have the Texans onto that one. So if that's the way how it would plan out, it would be the Denver Broncos versus the Texans. Then
Nice.
it would be Jacksonville versus New England. Now that is very interesting in the AFC.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Both of those games are very entertaining. And it's funny, just like some different teams in there. Look,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think that's what we're kind of hoping for as well, Mike. Is we just want to see a bit of we don't want to see the league being kind of somewhat stagnant in terms of seeing the
it's
same
same.
names,
Yeah,
and we want to see teams that have made that progression. And this is coming from us as Cowboys fans here. Like we don't want to see the Eagles winning an hour one. We don't want them catching up to us at all in
no,
terms of
no,
Super Bowl trophies. Hell no.
yeah.
But it's always nice to see when I think the most refreshing one was the Rams and the Bengals. That was a interesting one.
That was We were out for that one.
We
We were
were.
together for that one. Yeah,
We were.
that's
Yep.
right. Yeah,
Yep,
we went a
we
bit
were.
heavy the night before.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. But and this what's quite interesting, right? So looking at obviously the two number one seeds, right? Denver and Seattle, right? So they've secured their bye week essentially, but they were both in the Super Bowl against each other a couple of years ago. Peyton Manning's last ever game, and you know what the funny part is about both of these teams? Like, you've got Sam Darnold and Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Like, do you imagine if that was the Super Bowl? And, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bo Nix, he's not the best quarterback out there, but he does get the job done. Whereas on Seattle's side of point of view, we're continually seeing the revival of Sam Darnold since he left Minnesota. I mean, had a dreadful time at the Jets, not so good time at Carolina. It really changed from when he went to Minnesota, and ever since then, he has managed to find his feet, and he's been playing great football. So the Seahawks are a serious team to look out for.
Yeah, a lot of different and moving parts there. Ironic that Pete Carroll leaves there. They get back into to go into the playoffs, where Pete Carroll goes to Vegas and gets fired.
I know, that's crazy. Yeah. And obviously, I'm gonna say it. Some Cowboys fans might not be happy about this, but I am gonna be rooting for Seattle because we do have a former defensive player from the Dallas Cowboys and that roster, and that is DeMarcus Lawrence,
who's had a great year too.
He's had a great year, and nothing would make me better just to see a former Cowboy dude get a Super Bowl. Yeah, it sucks. It's not with us, but you still want to see a guy that you've rooted for years to finally get
their reward,
to get the reward, get their props, get their celebrations in order. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, if that was to happen. So, but yeah, Mike, very interesting weekend. So currently, as of this time right now, the Rams are currently 14-0 now, up now. Yeah, so yeah, we're expecting the Rams to really dominate this game. Once we start recording, I'm gonna watch the rest of that game. But folks, that is the latest update. Let us know on your thoughts about Matt Eberflus's departure, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in terms of the replacement for our defensive coordinator as well. Is there any names that the Cowboys should be looking into? We would love to hear your thoughts. And obviously, coming up, we are going to be having our 100th episode coming up soon. So we're going to have a special guest coming up. Trying to. But if it's not next week, it will be soon. But we will say next week we will be kind of doing more of a breakdown of the top 50 free agents available going into this offseason. Who should we look into? Why should we look into this player? We will break it all down for you folks. But Yeah, folks, be sure to hit to that like button.
Wait.
Oh, almost forgot.
I have a would you rather that relates to the
Yes.
playoffs.
Thank you
And
for
everybody can answer this one as well. So, would you rather Green Bay win or the Eagles win this week?
I hope the comments section absolutely roast you for that suggestion.
So would you rather? Who would you rather see win?
Green Bay.
I'm
I'm sorry, I cannot have Philly get
never
any
root.
more.
Never.
I'm sorry. Anyone but the Eagles. Anyone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We'll take the draft hit. We'll take the draft hit on the pick selection just to see the Eagles fall.
Well, is it really a draft hit, Mike? Because it would be cheaper on the salary cap. Put it
Well,
that
this
way.
is true. There's another bonus to it. Yeah, I like that.
So,
okay.
But yeah, folks, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K, and you, Mr. B.
You can find me on X and Instagram at IamPstew. All right, folks, we will be back next week to do a breakdown of the top free agents. We may have a special guest, but we are planning working on that. But yeah, folks, enjoy watching the playoffs. I know it sucks that the fact that we're not there, but football is still there. Hope you've been enjoying the college football playoffs also. It's actually refreshing to see we're getting something a bit different. Indiana versus Miami. Who knows? I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I'm looking forward to seeing more Michael Irvin on the sidelines. That's for sure. But yeah, folks, have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you guys next time. And as always, here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team; it is the World's Team. Have a good one, folks.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on BLEAV, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?